And Jimmy, can you do it for me, Jimmy?
Yeah, move up, brother. Namo Fundamental Teachers Sakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teachers Sakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teachers Sakyamuni Buddha.
Keep going.
The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million eons is difficult to encounter. Now that I have come to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus one comes true and actual meaning.
Thank you. Let me see. What? $270. Okay, let me see. Where are we? Then the wrecking answer, the Tathagata will honor if one by nature. Okay, this one right here. Right? Did
Yes,
I do it? William, did I do it right?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, because I remember talking about the kings going to where the twin sal trees stand. So I think that's exactly where we're supposed to start, the part that you said.
Okay, good. Go ahead, William.
Then the great king answered, the Tathagata, world-honored one, is by nature mellow and soft. By reason of this, he has as his kindred all who are mellow and of a soft nature. Just as a forest of sandalwood is surrounded by sandalwood trees, so is the Tathagata pure and pristine, and surrounded by people who are also pure and pristine. This is like a great Naga, having kindred who are Nagas. The Tathagata is silent and quiet, and his people too are silent and quiet. The Tathagata does not covet, nor do any of his people either. The Buddha has no illusion, nor do any of his people. I am the most wicked of men, lined with evil karma. My body issues an evil smell, and is tethered to hell. How can I dare to hope ever to go to where the Tathagata is? I may well go, but words may not get connections. You wish to have me go to the Buddha, and yet I am now of a base constitution, and despair of my own self, and have no mind to go.
Good. What do you think?
So he feels guilty and ashamed, and in considering, approaching the Buddha, that just heightens his awareness of that guilt and shame, and he doesn't feel worthy, and he doesn't suspect that he would actually be able to get benefit from being with the Buddha because his bad deeds are so heavy. But it's a good sign that he feels shame and guilt about it. Like that's the doorway.
Well, he already have the guilt and shame at the beginning, right? Even before the sick minister of him tried to convince him, right? But due to his strong remorse, right? Sense of remorse, the inner shame and the shame before order, so strong. That's why make him be able to connect to Chivaka. This is the doctor, right? And be able to listen to him with the many different debates and many different try to convince him, but it's still you hit on guilt mind, right? Try to compare it with the guilt mind, not the mind of the enlightened one. So that normal, that understandable. Okay, let's see what else the Chipika try to say. Okay, not yet. Okay, this is the important one too. Okay. Okay. Okay, go ahead, William. You can do this.
Then there came a voice from above. The unsurpassed Buddhist teaching is weak and is about to die out. The great river of full water is about to dry up. It will not be long before the bright lamp of Dharma goes out. The mountain of Dharma is about to crumble, and the ship of Dharma is about to sink to the bottom. The bridge of Dharma is about to break, and the palace of Dharma is about to be leveled to the ground. The banner of Dharma is about to fall, and the tree of Dharma is about to snap and break. The good friend is about to leave us, and a great fear is about to raise its head. It will not be long before beings will inevitably feel the lack of Dharma. The epidemics of illusion are about to run amok. The time of great gloom is arriving, and people will have to feel thirst for Dharma. King Mara will be gladdened and will ungarb all his armor. The sun of Buddha Dharma is about to sink behind the great mountain of great nirvana. O great king, if the Buddha is gone, there will never be anyone who can undo your grave sins. O great king, you have committed deadly sins that will take you to Avicii hell. There is no doubt that this karma will do its work. O great king, A means nothing. By means in between. As there is no moment of pleasure in between, we say abai. O great king, if only a single person falls into this hell, the height of his body will measure 80,000 yohanas. It will fill the place up, and there will be no space there in between. The body is surrounded all around and is subject to various pains. If there are many people, the bodies fill up, and there is no space in between, and nothing separates them. O great king, when one is in the cold hell, hot air will come for a moment, and this is a cause of pleasure. In the hot hell, a momentary blast of cold air becomes a cause of pleasure. One's life comes to an end in hell, but if one hears a living voice, it is restored. In Avicii hell, such never occurs. O great king, there are 4 gates in Avicii hell. Outside each gate there is a great fire which burns. It goes through everything, to east, west, south, and north. Iron walls go all around for 8,000 yohanas. Above is an iron net. The ground too is made of iron. The fire passes from above to down below. It goes from bottom to top. O great king, this is like a fish on a frying pan whose fat and oil are burning. It is the same with the criminal too. O great king, one who has committed one deadly sin has fully to suffer thus for one sin. One who has committed 2 deadly sins has to answer for 2. If 5, the sin reaps 5 times as much pain. O great king, I know that you will definitely have to experience your karmic results. Please speed to where the Buddha is. Other than the Buddha, world-honored one, no one can save you. I feel sorry, hence I urge you thus. So here Javaka is explaining the Avicii hell to the king.
No, this is not which not the which Chivaka, no.
Oh, the voice from above, yes. Oh, it's the voice from above, yeah. We don't know who that is yet.
No, yeah, not yet. You will know. Soon you will know. But so what the voice say?
Well, first it's describing that the Buddha is going to enter nirvana, is no longer going to be present in that physical body of Gautama, Siddhartha Gautama in the world, and that the king should take this opportunity while he has it. And if he doesn't, what he has to look forward to is the Avicii hell. And the Avicii hell is terrible. It's kind of similar information as is given in the Earth Store Bodhisattva
right.
about how it's totally uninterrupted. There's not a moment's break from the suffering.
Yep.
The suffering is really incomprehensible.
Okay. All right, that's good. And Jimmy, you want to read the next one?
Yes, sir. Then, on hearing this, fear overtook the king. A shudder ran through his whole body. His 5 limbs shook like a plankton. Look up, he asked. Oh, you God, who are you? You show no form, only your voice comes down. O great king, I am your father, Bimbisara. You would do as Javaka tells you. Do not give ear to the twist views of your ministers. On hearing this, the king fell to the ground. The pain of his boys increased, and the bad smell became twice as great as before. Cold medicine was applied and smeared over his body. But the boys burned. The poison increased its hit. And there was no wit to decrease felt.
What do you think?
So what I understand is above on the hearing of the king, the great king say that your father is Bimbisara. I don't understand. What does that mean?
Okay, thank you. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
William, what do you think?
Oh, the Bimamsara is the king's father. So
Yeah,
he killed his father, but his father is still being compassionate. It sounds like he's in the heaven realms,
Right.
and he's still looking out for his son.
Yep. That's why he urging the Ajatasatru listen to Chimpaka, not the other twisted view minister, right? And you know what? The pain is so painful that that after he fell right to the ground. Okay. Wow. Okay. Go ahead, William.
Chapter 25 on pure actions. Then the world-honored one saw from where he was between the twin sal trees, Ajatasatru swoon and fall to the ground. And he said to those present, I shall, for the sake of Ajatasatru, live, and shall not enter nirvana for innumerable kalpas. Bodhisattva Kasyapa said to the Buddha, O world-honored one, the Tathagata will not enter nirvana for the sake of innumerable people. Why is it that you will not for the sake of Ajatasatru? The Buddha said, O good man, there is not one person amongst those here who will say, I shall definitely enter nirvana. Ajatasatru will say that. He will assuredly suffer eternal death. So he swoons and throws himself upon the ground. O good man, I say that I shall not enter nirvana for the sake of Ajatasatru. Such undisclosed teaching will be hard for you to understand. Why, I say, for the sake of? This refers to all beings. Ajatasatru refers to all those who have committed the 5 deadly sins. Also, for the sake of refers to all those beings of created existence. I do not exist in the world for the non-create. Why? Now, non-create is no beings. Ajatasatru is one with inner defilements. Also, for the sake of refers to the beings who see the Buddha nature. If the Buddha nature is seen, I shall not stay long in the world. Why not? One who sees the Buddha nature is no being. Ajatasatru refers to all those who have not yet aspired to unsurpassed enlightenment. Also, for the sake of refers to the 2, Ananda and Kasyapa. Ajatasatru refers to Ajatasatru's royal consort, and also to all the females of the castle of Rajagriha. Also, for the sake of is none but the Buddha nature.
No, what do you think?
Well, I think there's perhaps there's something interesting in the translation.
Yeah.
Of it, because some of the sentences. Well, first I'll share what I understand, and then I'll maybe discuss some of the things I'm wondering about. So the world honored one saw Ajatasatru soon and fall to the ground, and then said that for Ajatasatru's sake, I won't enter nirvana for innumerable kalpas. And that made Kasyapa question, like, why do you say that? Like, especially for the sake of Ajatasatru. And then the Buddha explains why. And there's not one person amongst those here who will say, I shall definitely enter nirvana.
You know why?
There's not one person here who will say, I shall definitely enter nirvana. Meaning I, the Buddha, not the persons that are doing the same.
No. The Buddha said that, oh good man, there is not one person among those here who will say, I should definitely enter nirvana. So what do you mean? What did the Buddha mean? Not one person among those here.
I'm not sure if it's referring to the people are saying themselves they won't enter nirvana, or are they will enter nirvana, or they're saying the Buddha will enter nirvana.
No, the I in here, I should definitely enter nirvana. That means the Buddha.
That means the Buddha. Okay.
Okay. But what there is not one person among those here who will say.
Oh, because maybe they don't believe that the Buddha is going to enter nirvana, but that the Buddha will remain.
No, that's not true. That's not true. This is the present assembly. That means the Buddha assembly at that moment, right?
Yes.
In both Bodhisattva and his disciple. And that means they are the one who see the Buddha nature, who are enlightened, right? And who are on the Mahayana way, right? The Bodhisattva, the one who practice the Bodhisattva way. And that means they will not say that I should definitely enter the Nirvana, because Nirvana is not because if the person say I definitely enter into Nirvana, what does that mean? It means that the Buddha is just like the normal person. His body is also die, right? Sickness and die. So there is no special between Buddha and the normal person like us. Does it make sense? So if the one who say I should definitely enter into Nirvana, then that means that we are the one who not yet enlightened, right? We said that the Buddha is enter into Nirvana. That means done. It's done. Just like the lamp, the light go out. No more benefit. And the Buddha, once he enter into the Nirvana, it nothing benefit to the world. That means it cut off right there. Just like the sound here and the Pasika Buddha, that's how they believe. There is no Bodhisattva way, no benefit in the Mahayana way. But the assembly at the moment, at the Buddha said that among us here, that means not one person among let's see. There is not one person among those here. That means the assembly of the Bodhisattva. They already know the Buddha have the Buddha nature. That means the Buddha Dhamma, the Dhamma body. And the Dhamma body it's never die, right? It's permanent. And therefore the Buddha enter Nirvana, he just pretend he entered Nirvana. It's not real. Does it make sense?
Yes, Ken.
Okay. So this is so important that we should understand. This is where we call the right view. The way we just discussed, this is called the right view. If we believe that the Buddha never entered in Nirvana, because the Dhamma body, there is no such thing called a Nirvana for the Dhamma body. Okay, go ahead and go ahead.
Okay. And then the Buddha states that Ajatasatru has this conviction that he'll certainly suffer this like eternal suffering, this eternal death, and so he's thrown himself on the ground, and the Buddha is acknowledging that his statement that I shall not enter nirvana for the sake of Ajatasatru, it could be hard for people to understand because it's a teaching, I guess, that hasn't been discussed before. And yeah, it makes sense that if the Buddha is truly compassionate, and that compassion, I mean, it's the heart of the Buddha, well then yeah, of course the Buddha is going to be moved by someone suffering and persist to work to liberate them. I say for the sake of, this refers to all beings. And so Ajatasatru in this case is like a stand-in for all the people who are still confused and who are still committing deeds that are going to cause them trouble. And that it's the Buddha is not existing for people who or for the non-create or for non-beings, but for those who experience.
William, give me 1 minute. I need to run down and get the cable. Otherwise, I'm running out of power.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Oh, wow. I got it on time, man.
It's about to die, Thầy.
Yeah, I'm about to enter the nirvana. It's too early to enter the nirvana. Okay. The machine want to enter the nirvana. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, William.
So the Buddha also explains that the reason the Buddha appears in the world and stays in the world is to help the living beings who are still confused. So the people who have seen the Buddha nature, who have become enlightened, well then they're no longer like they recognize that there's no self. So in here the Buddha says, if the Buddha nature is seen, I shall not stay in the world. Why not? One who sees the Buddha nature is no being, meaning that they've kind of seen through the illusion of consciousness, and so that they're set upon the way. And so the Buddha actually not remaining in the world can be encouraging for them, because then they need to fully rely upon that nature which is present within them, as opposed to always expecting that the Buddha is going to be there for them to rely on, an external manifestation of the Buddha.
What happened if the Buddha enter in nirvana without take care the Ajatasatru? What will happen?
Without taking care of who? Ajatasatru?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the vows which the Buddha has made, I feel like he wouldn't have felt that he honored his vows.
The Buddha said that I will not enter nirvana even for a long time until make this king to have the unsurpassed body mind, right? This is important. If he not do that, then what does that mean? That means the living being like us, the one who not yet enlightened, will say that, oh, Buddhism is nothing. Well, compared to other religion like a Christian, right? Jesus can come back after death, even better than the Buddha. Does that make sense? So this is very important theme. So the Buddha makes sure the Ajatasatru he's become enlightened. And not only have a faith into Buddhism, but he needs to be enlightened and resolve his body mind. That means the unsurpassed body mind. That means want to become Buddha in the future. This is important because the radiant light of the Buddha only shine on the one who have most suffering. That represent the compassion. Otherwise, other religions say that, oh, Buddha is also died. What is so special about Buddha? Okay. All right. And Jimmy.
Dạ mô Phật thầy. Ngay chỗ Aja.
Aja, that means the part of the name of Ajatasatru, the king.
Yeah.
Not the name king.
Aja means not born. C means vengeance. When the Buddha nature is born, that comes about the vengeance and defilement. When there is the vengeance of defilement, one does not see Buddha nature. When no defilement is born, one see the Buddha nature. When one see the Buddha nature, one can abide peacefully in a great nirvana. This is not born. This is why we say, for the sake of Ajatasatru, O good man, Aja means not born. Not born refers to nirvana. C refers to worldly dhamma. 4 refers to not spoiled. Not spoiled by the world's 8 things. I do not enter nirvana for innumerable, boundless, asamkhya's of kalpas. Thus, say that I do not enter nirvana for the sake of Ajatasatru, O good man. The undisclosed word of Tathagata is inconceivable. Also, the Buddha Dhamma and Sangha cannot conceive. The Buddha nature too is inconceivable, and the Great Nirvana Sutra is inconceivable.
What do you think?
Then the world honor one.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
So what I think is the Buddha nature, if it's born, and the Ajatasatru not believing about the Buddha natures and want to, and say that is the not for real, and then it's not kind of no one believe in it.
Okay. Okay. What about this William?
Yeah, when the Buddha nature is born, there comes about the vengeance of defilement, and that obstructs seeing the Buddha nature. Yeah, that's interesting. The vengeance of defilement would be like personifying defilement, and vengeance being like it's offended by the birth of the Buddha nature, which
The
is
vengeance, that
interesting.
means the vengeance is that the meaning is resentment, anger.
Yeah, because I mean it's the end of defilement. But when one sees the Buddha nature, one can abide peacefully in great nirvana. This is not born. So, and my understanding is the Buddha nature is also not born.
That's right.
It's neither born nor die. So when the Buddha nature is born, there comes about the vengeance of defilement. So is that like thinking that the Buddha nature is born is like
Actually,
delusion?
they translate the translation is well. I think it's this is how we look in this way. Alaya constant, right? The defilement. What does that mean in the alaya consciousness? The vengeance of defilement. The
defilement would be like the mana's attachment to certain like preferences, likes and dislikes.
Yeah, but also mean the stream of consciousness.
Oh, the stream of consciousness itself is defilement.
Yeah.
No, you think? Just consciousness, yeah.
If we have the stream of consciousness, that is where death and rebirth cycle. Did that represent the defilement?
Yeah, because consciousness being sort of like observed and observed, the separation, that first step of like emergence of separation.
No, but the stream of consciousness, it means the delusion, the false thought thinking, the duality mind. So the duality mind, this is the death and rebirth cycle happen. As long as we still have this, due to our attachment, we go in that cycle for a very long time. So the Buddha nature is there. It doesn't mean that it's born, neither born or not die. No. But one, we be able to remove. That means it's purify all the consciousness, right? That means the consciousness stream is no longer there. That means the attachment. We don't have any attachment to this, and therefore the mind becomes so pure. That is the Buddha nature appear. That's what they call the Buddha nature is born. The stream of consciousness is just like the cloud, right? It blocking the sun. The sun cannot be shining due to the cloudy, right? But when the cloud is gone, the sun is it's happy and shining. The Buddha nature is same thing. So there is no such thing called the Buddha nature is born or die, no. But the way they translate, it born, it means that the when we remove the defilement, the Buddha nature will appear. So, because we learn about the consonant only so long, and we understand that in depth, this will help us when you learn this Mahayana teaching very clearly, very thoroughly. Without the knowledge of the consonant only, very tough to describe in the common language. Don't you agree here?
Yes.
Speaking of the Dharma is the speaking of the universal law, speaking of the truth, not the common language. The common language is the mean for us to express. Okay. That's why when we be aware of our consciousness all the time, we can decrease a lot of defilement, affliction. And Jimmy, you understand that, Jimmy?
Yeah, Mô Phật. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Anh nhớ khóa cửa.
Yeah.
Good. I think it's today we have a wonderful learning. Let's try one more. William, go ahead and and Jimmy, did you read it last time? Right? You're the one that read it, right? Oh, okay.
I read the story to Aja.
Right. So William, go ahead.
Then the world-honored one, the all-compassionate one and guide, entered into moonlight samadhi for the sake of Ajatasatru. On his having entered this samadhi, a great light issued forth. The light was pure and cool, and it went to the king and shone upon his body. The boils on his body healed up, and the choking pains died out. Relieved of the pain of the boils and feeling pure and cool in body, the king said to Jivaka, "Once I heard people say that when the kalpa is about to end, 3 moons appear at the same time. At that time, the sufferings of beings are all done away with. That time has not yet come. Where does this light come from? It shines on me and touches me. It cures all my boils, and my body feels at peace." Jivaka answered, "It is not that the kalpa is ending, and the 3 moons are appearing and shining. This is also not the light of Mars, the sun, or the constellations, or a medicinal herb, a mani jewel, or the light of heaven."
Go ahead and maybe we do this too.
The king further asked, "If this is not the light of the 3 moons, or of the mani, then what light is it? O great king, this is the light of the God of gods. This light has no root, it is boundless. It is not hot, not cold, not eternal, it does not die, it is not matter, not non-matter, it has no outer expression, nor is it non-phenomenal. It is not blue, not yellow, not red, and not white. It is seen only where there is a desire to save. It has its characteristics and can be explained. It has a root, boundary, heat, cold, blue, yellow, red, and white. O great king, though this light has such aspects of phenomena, it is not possible to explain it. It cannot be seen, nor is there the blue, yellow, red, or white."
Okay, what do you think?
So the king is kind of astounded by his body being healed up, and he's asking Jivaka why, and he knows that, at the end of kalpas, this phenomena occurs with the 3 moons, and everyone is relieved of their pain. And but Jivaka explains that no, this isn't the end of the kalpa. It's not from a planet or the sun or the constellations. Or this one I found interesting, not from a medicinal herb. Like a medicinal herb kind of shining light. So, but maybe he's talking about, he had the ointments put on him to cure his boils.
Yeah, I think so.
So he's explaining that that's not why his boils healed up and his pain was gone. And then this last part is just kind of incomprehensible, where it's saying, the light, it's non-phenomenal, but then it has aspects of phenomena, like it's not blue, yellow, red, and not white, but it has root, boundary, heat, cold, blue, red. So it's kind of like canceling each other out. And what I get from it is that it's beyond the ability to normally explain it.
That's right.
And that it's coming from the Buddha, the God of gods.
The money, that is the jewel. The jewel, very precious jewel, money.
Isn't Earth Store Bodhisattva usually shown holding one in his hand?
Yeah. That's right. So what about the Buddha said, well, the light is not come from the phenomenon, right? With the color. And later on they say, well, with color, right? Well, I just told you that just like the adornment flowers you just read, right? The Buddha body, Buddha body is pervasive, equal to the cosmos, right? And but the Buddha says respond to all living beings. So in this case, the Ajatasatru, right? He in need, he need help. So the Buddha respond with the loving kindness, one of the samadhi moonlight loving kindness. And the light come out with different color. That light is not because of the Buddha intends to have that light, no. Because the light it come from when they it need, it will, I think it's a criteria. So the criteria is it's just match with whatever the person right now in need. And so it will respond just with the condition it's right for this person. That is the power of the vow, the Buddha and the Bodhisattva. Because the Buddha and the Bodhisattva do not have the dual mind to say that, okay, this I need to use this light to educate this person. No. Does that make sense? So the light, it will appear with the condition. You có do bác đang dạy học. So so that's one thing, right? And now you see that the light when it's shining the king body, all those things disappear. The water experience from the doctor immortal, it's similar to it, right? In that case.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, this is a whole, I mean, much more advanced response than that. But maybe there's some similarity there as far as being able to affect
Remember,
some
the normal
potential.
body, the normal people mind can be able to do that. But what about the Buddha, Bodhisattva? They are the one who cultivate the countless life, sacrifice for all living beings with all their goodness, blessing, and virtue. This is nothing. The power of their goodness can be able to heal the physical thing. That is nothing. Remember, the more important is it can also kill the sickness of the mind. That is more important than the physical. Right? So the physical is nothing due to the Buddha and the Bodhisattva. Because the whole idea of the Buddha and Bodhisattva appear in this world is to rescue the living being, to liberate them by help them cure the sickness of the mind. That's important. That's more important than the physical body. But the physical body is just the experience means to help the king to have more faith into the Buddha. And that's how the connection it will lead him to be able to understand, to listen to the Buddha Dharma and understand from that, and he will be liberated by himself later on. This is important. Okay. Okay. Go ahead, William. Please.
May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, May their minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise.
Even in the here, right? We wish the other being, all living being to be compassionate and one. So important. Okay, all right. Thank you, everyone. Next week, right? Next week, I don't think we have class, and the week after that, I don't think we do have class, right? So, the 25th and maybe the 1st, right?
The 25th and the 1st for class. Yeah, that's the 25th will be a. Yeah, I won't be able to do the 25th or the 1st.
Yeah, I don't because I am in the Kentucky to practice the meditation at that time, and I also later on I go to the mountain. I stay there a few days before I come down and go back to Texas.
So then is the 8th the next time?
Yeah, the next time after that is the 8th. Yeah.
Okay.
The 8th is so good. I promise.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Cool.
Thank you, William, and thank you, William. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, William. You have a good day.